Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a true game changer for dynamic team environments, the Agile Manifesto. Whether you're a total novice or a seasoned practitioner, getting a solid grip on the core values defined here is absolutely key to your success. So, let's get into it. But, before we talk solutions, we've got to address the elephant in the room. Why do Agile teams actually lose their way and fail? It's a fascinating paradox, right? Think about it. Studies consistently show that over half of traditional, rigidly planned projects either go way over budget or just fail completely. Agile methodologies, like the wildly popular Scrum framework, well, they were designed to fix that by being highly flexible and adaptive. When teams are humming along, they're supposed to adapt that framework to suit their unique needs. Yet, time and time again, we see teams revert to these bad habits that just completely ruin the effectiveness of Agile. So why does this happen? Usually it's because they lose sight of the foundational philosophies that made the whole system work in the first place. To fix that, here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The foundation of Agile. 2. The 4 core values. 3. Empirical versus defined process. 4. The 12 principles of Agile. And 5. Your guiding Agile philosophy.
Section 1. The foundation of Agile.
Okay, let's dive right into this. While Scrum might be the framework everybody talks about, literally all Agile methodologies stem from this single essential foundation, the opening line of the manifesto itself. It states that practitioners are, quote, uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. I absolutely love this because it serves as the ultimate North Star for teams. It's an active, continuous journey of discovery. The authors didn't just sit in a conference room and theorize. No, they uncovered a better way by actually getting their hands dirty and doing the work. And through that practical work, they distilled their findings into 4 core values.
Section 2. The 4 core values.
This right here is the absolute heart of the manifesto. Now, the way these values are written establishes this really powerful left versus right dynamic. The authors explicitly state that, hey, while there is absolutely value in the items on the right side of the statement, they value the items on the left side more. So here is the first core value. Individuals and interactions, valued over processes and tools. This is massive, guys. It basically means prioritizing human connection and teamwork over just rigidly adhering to a specific software or checking boxes on a bureaucratic list. Weighing people over processes, that is the critical first step away from those traditional project management pitfalls that always seem to bog teams down. Let's move to the next one and see how this builds. We have working software over comprehensive documentation. Now, traditional projects often demand giant stacks of documents before a single line of code is written, or a prototype is even built, right? The Agile Manifesto completely flips that. It declares that tangible, working results are vastly more important than writing a giant manual about what you plan to build. It's all about creating real value, and creating it quickly.
The third value continues this rhythmic comparison. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Instead of spending months arguing over the fine print of a contract and locking yourselves into this super rigid agreement, Agile says just work directly with your customers, talk to them, collaborate. This allows your team to actually respond to what the customer needs in real time, rather than just pointing to a contract and saying, well, that's not what we agreed on 6 months ago. And the fourth core value, responding to change over following a plan. Now, remember the rule about the right side versus the left side? Traditional plans aren't inherently bad. Having a plan definitely has value, but remaining flexible and actually adapting to new information, changing market conditions, or new customer feedback, that is simply a better way of doing things. It shifts our whole perspective from blindly following a script to actively steering the ship.
Section 3. Empirical versus defined process. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the critical mindset shift it represents in practice. It's a sharp contrast between the old way and the new way. In the past, we relied heavily on defined process management. That basically meant passing through strict project stages and producing documents was the very definition of delivering value. It was all about the process itself. Agile shifts our focus entirely to an empirical process. In an empirical process, we learn from real-world evidence. The people, how they interact, and the actual working software they create tell us infinitely more about our real progress than an arbitrary date on a timeline ever could. At the end of the day, the results are what actually matter.
Section 4. The 12 principles of Agile. And this brilliantly illustrates how everything connects. If you're stepping into a leadership role, maybe as a Scrum Master, those 4 core values are your bedrock. And they're supported by 12 actionable principles that basically act as a filter behind absolutely everything you do.
Now, these 12 principles don't have to be overwhelming. They align really neatly into 3 actionable buckets. First up, the customer. These are principles guiding how teams effectively work with and deliver value to them. Second, the team. Principles focused entirely on how members are selected, how they're trusted, and how they collaborate. And third, the product and process, focusing specifically on technical excellence and how agile teams produce the absolute best possible product. It's just a beautifully organized system.
Section 5. Your guiding Agile philosophy.
So, the crucial point is this. Agile frameworks are inherently meant to be highly flexible. Once you attain certifications like a CSM, a Certified Scrum Master, and you start actually adapting these frameworks to fit your specific real-world needs, you are definitely going to face challenges. You might even be tempted to slip back into those old, rigid habits. But if you keep this Agile philosophy, valuing individuals, working results, customer collaboration, and responsiveness as your fail-safe guiding principle, you really cannot fail. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time your project hits a major roadblock, will you hide behind a rigid process and a plan, or will you trust your people and adapt to uncover a better way?